C-Level presents 2-minute models, decision trees, and decision tables. Have you ever found yourself in an elicitation meeting and hearing the following? If the user does A, the system should do X. But if the user does B, then the system should do Y. And if the user does C, well, you get the picture. Chances are you've probably heard a stakeholder presenting business rules and requirements in this if-then format. But once you have all these rules written down properly, what do you do with them? How do you ensure that you're not missing any? This is where decision trees and decision tables come in. Decision trees and decision tables are RML models that allow the user to visually trace the decisions and outcomes in complex logic. Or simply put, they show how a user or system would determine what action to take given certain variables. Well, that's great, you say, but how do they work? How do I actually make one? Decision trees have 3 basic shapes that come together to show branches of complex logic. They have diamonds that represent decisions, boxes that represent outcomes, and lines that represent choices that a user or system could take. Here on the bottom, you see just a simple decision tree that has 3 decisions that each have 2 choices, leading to 4 outcomes. So let's put an example. How does this work? How would this work in real life? Let's say you're with your family, and you need to figure out something to do for the weekend. Well, you have 3 options. Well, we're going to say you have 3 options. You could go to the beach, yay beach. You could go to the museum and learn something, or you could stay home and watch The Lion King. But how do you decide? There's one determining factor in all of this, the weather. If the weather says it's sunny, perhaps you're going to go to the beach. But if it's cloudy, maybe you don't want to go to the beach because it won't be as much fun, so you would choose to go to the museum. And if it's rainy, maybe you just don't want to leave the house at all, and you decide to watch a movie. Well, this can be modeled simply in a decision tree, where your decision is, well, what's the weather forecast? And then your 3 options are sunny, cloudy, or rainy. And then with your outcomes. Decision trees give you a visual way to represent these choices, and they're easy to review. However, this simple example doesn't really do it justice. So, for another example, do you remember those Choose Your Own Adventure books from when you were a kid? Or perhaps reading them to your kids? These Choose Your Own Adventure books present the readers with choices every other page or so, where the reader gets to choose the direction in which the story will go. I took one of these books, the Antimatter Formula, and modeled it into a decision tree, which we can see here. This tree is very large. It shows every decision a user could make in this novel. However, zooming in to view just a part of it, you can see that you can show every decision and what the outcomes are. You can even color code these decisions based on the outcomes and show quickly which outcomes come from which decisions.